My name is Andrew Gerasi, and I love cameras. I always have. I've pretty much been fascinated with them ever since I got my hands on one for Christmas when I was 9. Ever since then, every Christmas I ask for a new one or new camera gear or anything just to help me make films. But what drives this passion, you may ask? Well, this is my dad. And this is my mom. My dad grew up in the small town of Whitstable, England, and my mom grew up in Guelph, Ontario, an astonishing 5,850 kilometers apart. Now, how did they meet? Australia. At the end of May 2001, my dad embarked on a trip around Australia on his bike, and he brought this camera. The camera that captured the entirety of his journey across the continent, and also the first photos of my parents together, but we're not there yet. My dad started his journey with a guy named Gareth, and, well, he fell out of the picture pretty quickly. For the next 8 months, my dad traveled 15,000 kilometers around Australia, meeting incredible people and doing everything along the way. He even spent Christmas with a family he met along the way. This is them. Oh yeah, and that kid? His name was Andrew. Now it was time for Tasmania. My mom arrived to Tasmania with a group of 2 friends, Gord and Andrea, on July 9th of January 2002. She hung around there for a few days before biking 28 kilometers to her first destination on January 12th in Richmond. And this is where my mom's best friend would say something she would never be able to live down. Look, Joe, there's your future husband. My mom and my dad met in a campground in Richmond, Tasmania on January 12th, 2002. The next day, my dad biked off to continue his journey across Tas. The following day, my dad was biking when a car stopped to tell him that there was a couple of cyclists ahead, 2 girls and a guy. Excited and thinking it was my mom and her 2 friends, he cycled quickly in hopes to catch up to them. After a while and not being able to catch up, he took a break on the side of the road. A few minutes later, my mom and her friends appeared from behind. So out of all the cameras I have, which one is my favorite? It's this tiny little Canon APS film camera. Because this camera captured the most important story I could ever tell. The story of my parents, but also the story of me. It even took my baby photos. 1 year, 19,600 kilometers, and 84 rolls of film later, my dad had completed his journey. A journey he would never forget, and that would bring him the most beauty life has to offer. A happy ending. All captured on this camera that I still use to this day. A camera that has seen the world, and a camera that will continue to as long as I'm alive.